Hey, I'm Dave Daniels.
I'm Rachel Daniels. We've been coming to the Anchor since October of 2017.
Hi, we're John and Angelique Beal, and we've been coming to the Anchor since I believe the fall of 2018.
My name is Ben Tran. This is my wife.
I'm Suzette.
We started the Anchor on launch date 2017.
I'm Taylor, and I have been coming to the Anchor since May of 2019.
My name's Trent Herbert, and this is my wife, Katie Herbert. And we're original members of the Anchor. We've been with the Anchor since even before launch date, September of 16.
My name is Stephanie Link. I've been coming to the Anchor the summer of 2018.
My name is Edward.
I'm Patty.
First time at the Anchor. It's October of 2017. We were looking for a church. And I remember that my wife was telling me there's this church. So we went. We first walked in was a little different because it was in a school. What I was looking for was for not only my wife and I to get fed, but my kids to get fed. And just the word itself was dynamic. Something that wasn't going to tell me what I wanted to hear, but what I needed to hear to grow spiritually in life.
We heard about the Anchor and we decided to come, and it's been a dramatic change in our lives, getting to know the people there and feeling immediately accepted. So we felt like this was a place where we really wanted to invest ourselves.
I'd been saved many, many years ago, and then had lost sight of God and kind of gone my own way. And coming to the Anchor was able to, regain my faith, and it's just been a blessing for us. The people there are like family. They treat you like family.
I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw Pastor Ralph's video in front of my kids' school. It was at Rennell. And I thought, oh my goodness, here's another school fundraiser. Let me click on this video and see what he's got to say. And my kids had known that there was a church that was happening at Rennell, and they asked me to go, and I immediately said no. And I saw Ralph's video and I said, okay, let's try it. They'll have tacos. And as soon as I walked into the Anchor, it felt like home.
The connection was there from the get-go. Getting to know the greeters right away, they made it personal. And they made it feel like, hey, you're welcome, right? No judgment. We don't care where you've been. We're just glad you're here. And that's always been the kind of the family feel, right? Big church, but family feel.
I remember the first time that I came, walking in the doors, immediately just feeling welcomed, listening to the sermon and hearing Pastor Raphael and how real and authentic he was being, him directly approaching me after. And it made me feel like I was in a place where I belonged.
We went, and it was just like, as soon as I walked in, I knew, like it was like God was like, this is it. This is where you're supposed to be. And it was just genuine, just the realness of everyone.
We were heading to the parking lot, and Ralph came out to catch us, I think. And first thing he said was, I noticed the Bible that you had. Most people have their Bible on their phone. Yeah, it was a really good connection. I've been at a bigger church, and it was hard to even talk firsthand to the pastor.
God has used the ministry here to really heal some very difficult parts of my life, and that I'm truly grateful for, and would like to give back of myself to this community and this church.
Well, the Anchor has been they've been our family from the beginning. I mean, we've been through some rough spots in our marriage, and the Anchor was the first ones to respond to us and with the troubles that we went through. And I specifically remember that's what actually got me more involved, is that a member, he came to me, and so because of that, he pulled me in and got me more involved. And
when it would have been so easy to retreat and
to
not
push us
want to
away. And so we really appreciate the Anchor and the people that they, instead of shunning us away, we were met with open arms.
When I found myself in a place of searching and I found this to be my home, I immediately felt like I was being poured into spiritually, not just on a, hey, how can we get you to serve and help you get connected with people and serving others. It wasn't just that. It was, let me teach you something about this Bible and really dive in spiritually. I feel like sometimes at 19, people might pass up on the fact that you really want to learn because you're just young, and it meant something to me knowing that I've only been here for 3 months, but I have all these leaders around me who still want to develop me and actually grow me spiritually.
Growing up, I felt very alone and very isolated in that space of, family issues and stuff like that. And just coming into a church family where it's just so open and honest, and being able to talk about anything and everything and being like an open book is just very important. And you guys have been great for me and my personal walk with Christ.
We started going to the Anchor on launch day, which was around my 16th birthday. And I was sitting through service and I was like, wow, this is something that I had never experienced before. When he was preaching to us, he made direct eye contact with me as if he was talking to me. And it was just a really cool experience to be in a crowd of people, but then he still focuses on you and he still sends the message directly to you and helps it apply to your life. And I was just sitting there our first day thinking, and I was like, wow, this is what church should feel like. Me sitting here and knowing that God is here with me without second guessing anything.
Sometimes even in serving, there's times we wake up in the morning and just man, I don't want to go serve, but we push through and God blesses us after the fact. I get to church and start serving, and all of a sudden I feel great. Everybody's coming in and high-fiving, saying hi, and how's your week, and just making me feel good. And all of a sudden it's turned around from, man, I don't want to be here, to, man, why did I even think about not coming?
Those are always the weeks where you meet someone and you're like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
if I wasn't there, I would have never met them, would have never connected with them, gotten them connected with the church. So.
And there's a reason that we were there that morning for that purpose.
We are here because we want to see lives change, and we want to be a part of that.
Most people don't want to wake up early on a Sunday morning. Most people don't wake up early on a Sunday morning, much less get up and go unload trailers and set up a stage. I think it's necessary because you don't know who's going to walk in the door that day, and who's going to decide when they walk in the door that this is going to be their last shot that they're giving on church or on God.
I walked in, it felt like home, and now the way I see it, I'm not volunteering at church. I am serving the guests that come into my home, just like I would if it was at my house.
The kids, they volunteer, they want to, right? We don't have to ask them. We want them to understand that serving is giving back, not just taking. So we want to start them at an early age where now they have that passion to serve.
Yeah, I was a little apprehensive at first because it is given a lot of time and effort to serve on a team or on a group. And once we started doing it, though, it didn't seem like a chore at all. It was very fulfilling. It was great to meet all the people.
It's also helped us have an additional layer of connectivity between our marriage. I think serving together, something that we can do together as a family and show our children what a good example they can do, and even though they may be small, that they can make a huge impact as well, and we want to live by that example.
If it was up to me, my human mind and my introvert mind was like, no, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to, besides hi and bye, I'm good, and God was like, no, you need to step out of your comfort zone and get involved and do something. I call you to do more than just go to church. That was just me trying to be obedient. And, and I'm not saying it was easy, because it wasn't, because my everything in me was like, no, I'll do it next week. No, I'll do it next week. No, I'll do it next week. But eventually I, had to heed the call and be like, you got to do what you got to do.
It's definitely hard to get up there and get your kid up there and have them sit while you're trying to set up. But as far as loading in and setting up, that we do it because we love the Anchor and because we love to see where this church is going and where it can go.
Being able to come together and serve as a team, knowing that it's not just you, you're making a huge impact, and it's not just about yourself. So being willing to give up your own time and make that sacrifice and come in, knowing that you could just change one person. That word is there, and we're creating a safe place for someone to come in and hear the word and be in fellowship with other people. I think has been very rewarding for us, and it is difficult, it is hard, but I think that it's so rewarding, and being able to see the fruits of that month after month, being involved at the Anchor has been incredible.
The journey of giving for us, probably just like anybody else, we were very apprehensive about giving 10% or the tithe to the church, because we still have a lot of bills to pay, and just like anybody else. So we were very nervous, but we decided to go ahead and do it, and trust in God and trust that He was going to provide for us. So, and it was tough. The first few months, I'm not gonna lie, I was really doubting God. I had a string of closings. I'm in real estate, and I started giving all those, and then all of a sudden the faucet cut off for about 3 months, and I started doubting myself. Like, well, I started giving. Why isn't God, blessing me in return? I decided we're just going to push through it. And even when I did start getting closings again, I decided I'm still going to tithe. And it ended up that this year was my best year ever in real estate.
You're giving back to God for just everything that He's done for you, the breath that you're, breathing, everything, He deserves it all. So honestly, that 10% that you're giving is just a fraction of what He deserves.
It's never like a desire on my side to give, because we serve. So we serve. Why do we need to give? We're doing, we're right here. But it's different now. It's different since we've been at the Anchor. I was in between jobs for a couple months. We were living off savings, but we still gave. I talked to Suzette. I'm like, hey, we're kind of in between right now. Should we still give? And she looked at me right in the eye. She goes, it's God's to give, and He's blessed us. Even when I was in between jobs, we still had finances coming in. And we're like, whoa, where did this come from? He's taking care of us even now. Who are we to not give Him what belongs to Him rightfully?
Tithing, like I've realized that it's not our money. The paycheck you get from your job, it's not your money. It's like God created all of us, and it's all His. Like He allows us to get a paycheck every week. He allows us to go to work. So what's 10% to give back to God? To give back to what He does through the church and the community. So that's the way I see tithing. So I feel like we give joyfully.
When it comes to generosity, I'm gonna just put it out there. We would give off and on until somebody that loved me dearly set me aside and says, hey man, you need to focus on this, because this is what the Bible says, and if you want the windows of heaven to be open, just follow the simple principle of what the Bible teaches. And I did. I took that leap of faith. And it was in a moment where it was very hard financially. There was weeks, there was months that we knew, man, we cannot give that because we need to go and get this stuff for the house, or these groceries. But we believed and we trusted God. We have been blessed. We have not even worried about it. We know when the basket is getting low, but God always comes through.
Yeah, He's not the same anymore.
No, I'm not, because we trusted God. If we can sit here and look back at what God has done, just because we have committed to giving back to Him what belongs to Him. I wish I could have done this years ago.
Everything you own in your life, everything that you make in your life belongs to God. And we are simply the managers of that money. This is a short time on earth. Our permanent home is in heaven. And so the time that we have here, it's very small. It's just a small portion of what I can give back, because God gave me everything. He gave me His Son and His life so I could have everlasting life.
To know the where we started with the church, and now here we are sitting in a possible permanent location is just, it's incredible. I mean, you can see that God is working tremendously in not only the lives of people, but getting the church growing. And this is a place where people who are broken, people who are lost, people who need that void filled in their life can come and find that help and that peace. And to have a permanent location is just, it's awesome.
I think the opportunities are endless for Cypress. I think that this is where God has called us to be as a church, and to be here at the ground level and have the opportunity to be a part of something this incredible, I think is going to be amazing for this year.
Absolutely.
The joy that giving early on, like this situation, brings to me, I think, is that we can be on the ground floor of being almost like in an ownership position. I'm in corporate finance, and by investing early on in something to then see and reap the benefits, in this case change lives and touching others and multiplying that's there's nothing more exciting and fulfilling that can be to fulfilling what God's called us to do.
It feels amazing it feels amazing just to think back that we started started on the couch in Ralph's living room, and now we're potentially going to get a huge warehouse building that we can build up and be the home of the Anchor, the permanent home of the Anchor. I mean, that's just, the sound of that is amazing. You have a vision in the beginning, and it's just amazing to see it all come together.
I'm ecstatic to be here and be a part of it, and say that I'm, one of the people that, one of the many people that contributed.
2 years later, here we are in potentially what could be a building for our home, because really it's a building. Anchor, the people, the heart that belongs to that group of people, that's what feels like home. But to look around here and think, wow, one day we just have to lock the door. We don't have to load everything into the carts, pull them into the trailers, and it's cool. It's a really cool feeling. It's excited, like building a house.
I can see this building being our permanent and forever home to further reach people of Cypress and people around Cypress and people my age, to just grow the community and further our faith in God.
Putting it out there saying, hey, we can get here, but we can't do it alone. We got to do it all together.
What's up, everybody? It's Pastor Raphael and Jessica, and we're so excited to come to you today from what could be the future home of the Anchor. I don't know about you, but after spending months and months in our living room and months dreaming about what God was going to do through the Anchor, being in a place like this where you can see the chairs, you can envision that God is moving and is working in the fact that we have an opportunity now to look at a location like this and make it our future home. To me, it's overwhelming. I don't know about you, it's exciting. And I believe that after this video, I think that God's gonna call some of you to step in. God's gonna call some of you to answer the call that He has in your life to give, to serve, and to be a part of what God is doing next. So I'm praying for you. I believe that God's gonna do something awesome. And I believe that if this is the place for us, that this is still only the beginning. That this building, although it's incredible and although it's got so much potential, that this is just the beginning for us. And that should excite all of you to know that this building isn't the end, it's just the beginning. So we love y'all, praying for y'all. We're grateful and we're thankful for all that's happened, but we're expectant and we're believing that God's gonna do some incredible things from here on out.